Welcome to SNN Live. We're broadcasting from our studios in Los Angeles, California. I'm your host, Bobby Kraft, and today on the program we have Tony Di Benedetto from Delivery Canada Corp. It's a publicly traded company. I have two symbols for you, TAKOF on the OTC markets and FLT on the CSE. Tony, welcome to SNN Live.
Bobby, thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here.
It's great to have you on. So, for our audience, let's start off with an overview of Drone Delivery Canada.
Sure. So Drone Delivery Canada is a very innovative technology company, and it's really about building software and systems to allow drones to effectively be utilized as a logistics platform for delivery.
So Tony, can you tell us a little bit about the history of the company and also your background, how you came into all this?
So I've been involved in technology businesses since the mid-90s, built, operated, sold a variety of different technology companies. And after we sold our last business, we got really interested and fascinated with drones for a logistics platform. We saw this could potentially be a very large disruptive play. And we were so excited, we wrote a big check. I personally have very invested into this business and a lot of skin in the game. And we went out, assembled the right people to kind of put this together, turn it into a reality, and we launched the program.
Just to quickly follow up on that, why did you decide to get into logistics as opposed to the hardware side? What was that? What was there?
Tremendous barriers to entry. And when we looked at the drone space and we looked at drone services, more specifically, photography, aerial imaging, surveillance, these were all niches that essentially anybody with $10,000 could go buy a drone, some software and a camera, put up a website, and now you're in business. But with this one here, it was really overcoming both the technological challenges and the regulatory challenges. And we knew if we could assemble both and get through the red tape, there could potentially be huge upsides for this business.
So on the hardware side, you almost saw it as like a commodity business as opposed, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
It's a commodity, and I've been involved in commodity businesses, and it's not a nice place to be.
So let's get into the technology itself a little bit. How does it work, and what differentiates yours from maybe the competition out there?
So we entered the space very early on. Essentially, we immobilized back in 2014, and we started assembling the smartest minds in Canada at the university levels, these professors, to start building out this technology and really helping us develop the necessary platform that would comply with the regulators in Canada, with Transport Canada, and really how to operate this in a safe and unique manner. In terms of where we are, today we're market leaders in this space. We've been at this for 3-4 years. When we first started this, people thought we were absolutely crazy and it would never happen. And we use the analogy similar to driverless cars. Driverless cars will come and autonomous drones will come as well. And I think we put the right bet. As I said, we invested our own money into this. We believed in it. We're very committed, and we're seeing the fruits of our passion really come to fruition today.
So Tony, just to drill down a little bit more on that, what exactly are these logistical services? What does that include? Does that mean, having the computer there where you can actually see where the drone's being flown? Like, what are we talking about?
So when we talk about logistical services, it's enabling a client. And in our situation, a client could be a government agency, could be a retailer, could be a corporate services provider, healthcare provider, enabling them to utilize drones as a logistics solution as part of their supply chain. And today, for example, a mail carrier company would have access to trucks and cars and planes, and now with our platform, with our software, they have the ability to utilize drones as part of a logistics solution.
So basically, like, there's the hardware, and then you have the operator, and you're marrying the two.
We're marrying the two. For us, the strategy is build the entire turnkey platform that's built heavily on systems, the logic, the flight computer systems that actually sit within these drones, these airframes, to allow them to operate in a way which the government will allow us to fly. So it's all about safety, transparency, and how to do things right.
So you also mentioned we a little bit earlier in
Yes.
one of your answers. So who was this team that you put together to put this company together?
Right. So my brother Paul and I, we've been serial entrepreneurs. We built these businesses since the 90s. And after we sold our last one, we said, let's assemble. And we pulled a lot of old team members that we've had a lot of success with. We've assembled a phenomenal group. And really, when we talk about barriers to entry into this market, it's human capital. Where do you find the smartest minds really to assemble this? And we were fortunate enough that we were able to partner with a lot of these universities that have been leading drone initiatives for the longest time, and really started assembling some of this technology to create something very unique and have patents around it. And we have a lot of intellectual property which we've been able to assemble.
Actually, just to follow up again on that real quick, so you're saying that in order to get these logistical services out there, you are also working closely with Canadian government to make sure that it passes all the right specifications, safety measures, because you have to probably go through that in order to then sell to the market, correct?
This was the barrier to entry. And when we first formulated this business plan, it was an idea. It was a phenomenal idea we had, but at the end of the day, if our idea didn't comply with what the regulators wanted to see, it was just an idea. There was no business. So we spent a lot of time with all stakeholders, including our federal government, really to understand what reality was, both today and in the future, and what were the necessary steps to turn this from a concept into a business. And it's really about taking baby steps with everybody, building relationships, and executing it properly in a way to bring it to fruition.
So where is the company currently at in that development?
So we're approximately about 85% done our platform today. We anticipate to be fully completed by the end of the year, end of 2017, and then moving towards commercialization for next year. And right now, in terms of licensing, to date we've received 5 licenses, testing licenses from our federal regulator, and we're moving towards our full commercial license by the end of the year. That's the goal right now.
So you actually alluded to my next question. I wanted to know, who are some of your target markets, and what are the size of these markets you're looking to sell to?
It's an enormous market. Retailers, government services agencies, corporate service providers, healthcare, as I mentioned. Really, it's limitless. And when you look at how we're looking to launch this, it's not about delivering the pizza or delivering the burrito to start. It's about starting in Canada's backyard. Big, wide open spaces. Almost 1,000 remote communities exist in Canada's backyard, which are completely isolated due to lack of infrastructure, lack of roads. And when we presented this to our regulator, we said, wouldn't it be great to bring this technology to Canada's backyard and utilize this to service immediate needs, to connect these communities and deliver goods. And I had a trip a couple months ago to one of these remote communities in Canada, population of about 4,000 people. And the first thing I did is I went to the grocery store. And a jug of Sunny D orange juice is $22. A case of water was $27. The costs for these people to sustain, to simply survive, was through the roof. And what we saw was the biggest reason why this existed was logistics. Very difficult to move products from A to B when there's no roads or very limited roads.
Right.
And this technology, the practicality of it, the backyard is the right place to start. Let's start there. Let's prove it out. Let's help these hundreds of thousands of people that live there, millions of people, and then slowly move this technology closer to more urbanized areas over time.
So just to wrap that answer up, who specifically then is the market for your software, and then the size of that market?
So Macquarie Financial did a research report, and the drone space, our sector is approximately $60 billion in terms of size. Our average client in the corporate world, at least publicly, market caps in the billions. So these are very large entities that are looking on integrating this type of technology for the businesses today and create a platform for the future. It's tremendous. It's a tremendous scale, and it's all about a starting point, and that's where we are today.
So you also mentioned a bit earlier on the company's business model via licensing. Can you elaborate on that?
So we've started receiving an influx of foreign companies now and some government agencies that have been reaching out to us outside of Canada. Initially, when we started, we said let's focus on Canada because it's a big enough market where we see a huge business just operating within our geography. But as we started exploring foreign opportunities further, we said there's an ability here to license this technology out. So to government agencies, postal services agencies, healthcare providers, there are a tremendous amount of applications, and we would essentially license our platform to them, and they become the localized operator within your geography. So it creates a very expandable, scalable, highly profitable business.
So you also mentioned a little earlier as well that the company has a patent portfolio. Can you expand on that? Something just a little bit more about your patent protected technology.
Absolutely. So we spent a lot of time building systems and really to conform with what is necessary to operate properly and safely according to the regulator's eyes. We've hired leading patent IP firms, and we filed a number of patents USPTO to secure our intellectual property.
And what are some of the company's growth drivers as you move forward?
Well, we have a long roster of clients that we're actively working with. We're engaged with approximately 50 different clients in different types of verticals, and it's a tremendous amount of opportunity. And when some of our clients start looking at financial predictions on what they believe the business could generate for them, the numbers just grow very, very quickly in the tens to hundreds of millions of dollars.
And where can our audience go and find more information about the company?
www.dronedeliverycanada.com.
My name is Robert Kraft, and I'm your host here on this SNN Live, where we're broadcasting from our studios in Los Angeles, California. With me again is Tony Di Benedetto from Drone Delivery Canada Corp, publicly traded company with two symbols, TAKOF on the OTC markets and FLT on the CSE. Tony, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.